welcome to our Lunch and Learn today. I'm Outreach Coordinator Jennifer Vanette, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all. And my mic just changed. Are we good? Okay, I could just tell. All right, so today we're talking sports with our own Jeff Cottrellz. Jeff works for the Castle Museum officially as our registrar plus our jack of all trades and all tech guru things. And he is also vice president of the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame board, and he curates the exhibit. If you haven't seen the exhibit, I hope you do check that out, just past the front desk. And Jeff, how long have you been curating that? It's been a while.
Since we moved in, and that's been, 12, 13 years.
Yeah, and he changes it up, with the new classes and new displays regularly, so it's always, a fresh exhibit to visit. So please do check that out, and without further ado, Jeff Cottrellz.
Well, hello, everybody. To tell you a little bit of history about the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame before we get started, our inaugural class was 2002, and that was chosen by our initial board of directors because we did not have our lifetime voting members yet. And so they picked the first class, and that first class is kind of the best of the best. It's the Arthur Hill 73s and the Kid Levines and those people who were kind of bigger than life at that time. So we were originally out at Saginaw Valley State University in the Ryder Center in the hallway. We had all of our little, who had pictures and bios of a lot of the individuals out there. But what happened is, if the Ryder Center wasn't open for events or something, that people couldn't necessarily get in. So we had a situation where somebody came from out of state, wanted to show some family, and the Ryder Center wasn't open, and it was, they couldn't get in. So I found out that they had been looking for a new place to move. SVSU was getting ready to open their own Sports Hall of Fame, and the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame was looking for a new home. And so I approached them and said, you guys should consider a move down to the Castle Museum. And we were able to come up with a plan and come to an agreement that the Sports Hall of Fame would pay to renovate the space, and the castle would give the space without cost. So we are in there, and I used my expertise from working here at the museum to help out the Sports Hall of Fame as well. All right, so let's get into the class of 2023. Our first person is Alfonso Boone. Alfonso was Arthur Hill graduate from 1994. He played on that 1991 state championship team when Arthur Hill beat Detroit Catholic Central. He was selected by the Detroit Lions in the 2000 draft in the 7th round. Played for the Detroit Lions for a little bit, but played for multiple years with Chicago. He played 129 games in 11 seasons. The next one, I'm sure nobody was surprised when they saw his name on the ballot, Jason Richardson. He was a graduate. Jason was a 1999 grad from Arthur Hill as well. When the year he graduated, he was a McDonald's All-American. He was also Mr. Basketball. Went on to Michigan State University and ended up being drafted 5th overall by the Golden State Warriors in 2002 and was a 2-time slam dunk champion. Next is Victoria Tori Jankoska. Tori is she's accomplished quite a bit. She was a 4-time All-State selection, a Freeland High grad of 2013. She scored 2,333 career points, and that makes her the top scoring female basketball player in Saginaw County history. And I find it really interesting that the top male scorer in Saginaw County history is also named Tori. But this is Tori Jackson, not Tori Jankoska. She ended up getting drafted into the WNBA, played for a minute with the Chicago Sky, and now she's an assistant basketball coach in the, I want to say Missouri, but it's not Missouri. I can't remember the school. What's that? Yeah, I can't remember where she's at. Yeah, but she's coaching basketball. And one of the people that I went to school with at Swan Valley was Jenny Rasmussen. Her name is now Jenny Kammer. She was a Swan Valley graduate from 1999. She threw 6 no-hitters her senior season and also 4 perfect games. She was the 1999 Miss Softball winner. And not only did we go to school together at Swan Valley, but when we were both at Central, she helped lead the CMU softball team MAC championships in 2000 and 2002. Sorry about this picture. That was the best one I could find on short notice. This is Larry Graff. He's our coach that we elected. He's the coach that our lifetime voting members elected into our Hall of Fame this year. He began coaching softball at Hemlock in 1986, and his teams won 3 Tri-Valley West championships, which is no easy feat when you're going up against people like Tom Canale and Swan Valley, where they have done so well for so many years. Had a career record of 702 and 272, and they ended up naming their softball field after him. The next one, I'm sure you guys all know, Hugh Bernreiter. He's our contributor this year. Hugh has won writing awards. It's pretty impressive. He's won a lot of awards since he got to Saginaw in the mid-'80s. He's covered a little bit of everything. You ask him, and he'll have a story about going to cover all kinds of crazy things. He's a member of the Detroit Lions High School Coach of the Week panel. He's a part of the Harry Hawkins Award panel. Are you guys aware of the Harry Hawkins Award? Well, Harry Hawkins Award is given yearly by the Saginaw Club, and it goes to, basically, it's the Saginaw County version of the Heisman Trophy. So the top football player in Saginaw County wins the Harry Hawkins Award. Harry Hawkins is also a member of our Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame, but he was the first All-American from Saginaw County, if I remember correctly. He played for the University of Michigan. Hugh did not play for the University of Michigan. He went to Michigan State, and he also covered the men's basketball team in the mid-'80s as a member of the State News. Next is our one of our veterans, Don Voorhees. Don was one of the fastest people in the state when he was running in the 50s. His times of 9.75 in the 100-yard dash and 21.0 in the 220 were the fastest ever recorded by a high school athlete. And he also, with those times, was the fastest in all 4 classes that year of those events. He ended up going to Michigan State. He lettered at Michigan State twice, but injuries kind of derailed his career, and he did not run after his sophomore year. He was on the Thumb Meet of Champions board, which is their big track meet, their championship meet out in the Thumb, and he graduated from Frankenmuth in 1969. The next guy, I could not find a picture of in time. Ken Tolfree from Merrill High School. He graduated in 1975. He was all-county, all-valley, and all-state in football his senior season. He ended up going to Saginaw Valley State College and is still the career interception leader with 22. And he was a NAIA All-American First Team and led his team to the playoffs in his final season. Wow, this might be a record for the shortest lunch and learn ever. And our last team is the Nouvelle Catholic Central girls basketball teams from 2006 and 2008, which are back-to-back state championships. That was the fall of 2007 is when the Michigan High School Athletic Association changed around the seasons a little bit and moved girls basketball from a fall sport to a winter sport. And but they did win back-to-back state championships. In 2006, they won the Class C state championship by beating Flint Hammondy. They were winning by an average of 60-38 in their 8 playoff games. They also won again in 2008, defeating Galesburg Augusta. And this time they beat their 7 state tournament opponents by an even wider margin of 65-38. They were coached by Chris Henserbach. And that's our class this year. Sorry. So every year we send out ballots we have about 1,000 lifetime voting members. So if we have their current address, then they get a ballot and they get to vote. And it's not our board who puts them in, it's the people who decide who to put in. And some years, most years, it's really close. You'll get a couple people who are neck and neck throughout the ballot counting, and somebody wins by a few ballots, and then we're like, okay, let's count them up again and make sure. So we try to make sure that we have enough checks and balances that we can, make sure that we don't have any problems with our counting. That's about all I got off the top. Is there any questions? I'd love to take you guys on a tour of the exhibit. All right.
All right.
They have a 50-year reunion this year.
Yep.
Are you guys going to network and do anything with them, or what do you think?
I think so. If you guys couldn't hear, the question was about this year's 50th anniversary of Arthur Hill's 73 undefeated unscored on team. I'm pretty sure we will. I haven't talked to them recently about it, but I have talked to multiple players on the teams in the past year and saying how we would like to be involved. And we have a few board members who are Arthur Hill alumni that I'm sure will want to make sure that we're involved with that. We do have a helmet that's been autographed by as many of the members of the team as possible. I believe it's on display. And I did an exhibit this year, a little display on Saginaw High and Arthur Hill because of the impending combination of the two schools. So I did an exhibit on celebrating their two schools and the athletic history between them. Is there any more questions?
Any other questions?
Yeah.
So, who picks the candidates for this?
Wonderful question. So the process to get elected into the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame is sort of like this. Somebody will nominate somebody. They say, my Uncle Jimmy was a great, athlete, and, so they can either go online or fill out a form and say, well, he ran this time and he scored this many points, and so they submit all that information to us. Then that goes to our selection committee. The selection committee reads that bio and uses a matrix to assign points for different things. And then they come together and they tally all those scores together. And the top people, the people with the most points, are the people we look at first to go on the ballot. But we try to make sure that it's not just the city of Saginaw, it's not just Saginaw High and Arthur Hill people, because we're a county-wide institution. So we want to make sure we have, that Merrill's represented, that Birch Run's represented, that Freeland's represented. We want to try to make sure that the whole county, from all the four corners, get representation on the ballot. And at that point, the board puts together, the selection committee puts together the ballot. They bring it to the board, and the board kind of just rubber stamps it, unless there's something really off about it. We just kind of rubber stamp their who they want to put on. Then it gets mailed out to the lifetime voting members. They have typically 30 or 60 days to return their ballot. And at that point, we count them all up and have a press conference to announce who made it. Anything else? Did I set the record?
Well, you're not done yet because you're going to walk them through the exhibit if they want.
Shortest lecture ever.
Yeah, so thank you for the talking part. You're welcome. But then, yes, if you are able and interested and want to, Jeff will walk you through the exhibit. And for those of you watching online, unfortunately, this is where we have to leave you. But please do feel welcome and encouraged to come in and look at the exhibit in person. It is very worthwhile.
I have another question.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you open to people submitting items?
Oh, donations? Oh, we love donations. That's how we got most of the objects in our collection were things that people had donated. We usually ask the inductees as they're being inducted to dig in the back of the closet and find, I always tell them, I don't want that family heirloom because that should stay in the family, but that second or third best thing that nobody really cares about, that's what I want.
You're online now, so you've got an option to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's adjourn to the exhibit gallery if you would like to do that.